G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for a showcase and build guide video of my patch 1.2 Dagallon's Destruction dual-wielding pistol Purifier build. This is based on the Dagallon's Destruction set and does require you to farm level 100 gear to work as shown in this guide. Happily though, you can level the character from level 2 with dual pistols focusing on fire damage, and you will have a similar playstyle the whole way to level 100. I have a complete leveling let's play that I will link in the description below, which shows my leveling experience. If you go back in time a few years, you'll find YouTube videos and forum posts praising Dagallon's Purifiers as being the best range pistol characters. Sadly, the Dagallon set has been power crept in the last several patches, and the common belief now seems to be that the set is dead, it's a meme build, and no one seriously plays it anymore because it's so bad. The good news, however, is that although other builds have been buffed around it, Dagallon's Destruction is still fairly good. While it isn't the strongest build I've made, it's also not the weakest. What goes into a Dagallon's Purifier? Well, let's get into the build. First up is the items. We're using one full set and one partial set. Now the full set is obviously going to be the Dagallon set. This is a 4-piece set that provides both of our weapons, the chest and the helmet. It includes some basic bonuses to fire and lightning damage, as well as skill bonuses to fire strike and its modifier nodes, and fire and lightning WPS skills from Inquisitor. The 4-piece bonus gives us our flat elemental resistance reduction and global conversion of all physical damage into a 50-50 split between fire and lightning. The helmet provides another 100% global conversion, this time it's chaos damage being split into fire and lightning. And each of the weapons gives us a pass-through bonus on one of the Inquisitor procs, as well as increasing their damage. The partial set we're wearing is 2 pieces of the Justicar guard set. One of the major issues I had with this build early on was just how squishy it was. The shoulders and gloves of this set help this issue somewhat by providing 27% increased armor across all of our gear, as well as 15% armor absorption from the 2-piece set bonus. This means we only need 1 scaled hide and 1 ancient armor component to max our armor absorption, and it adds some very needed armor to this otherwise quite squishy build. The boots for this build are the Wormscale foot guards for all of their skill bonuses, Thermite Mine and Aura of Censure, as well as their defensive proc. For jewelry, we're using the Combustion Band for its resistance shredding proc, and we have Light's Oath for critical damage, offensive ability, and damage proc, as well as the Chaos Resistance. And do note the Chaos Resistance, this is the main reason I'm not using a different ring. Important to note here that you can swap these out for Goalless Rings for more regeneration and 4 more affixes to fix resistance holes. Try to keep the Combustion Band though, as that resistance proc has a lot of resistance shred on it, and that is extra damage. We're using the Korvax brand down here for more weapon damage and local attack damage converted to health on Fire Strike, as well as a very good damage proc. And our relic is Korvax Deception for +1 to Demolitionist skills and another high damage proc. And now for the fun part of the gear, the rare items. You need to get some resistances on these items, bleeding and poison specifically. You can solve this with 1 impervious prefix and 1 stanching prefix, which is what I've done, or any number of other rare affixes. Ideally, you want of destruction, which is a suffix, for fire and lightning damage, and then a prefix to help with resistances. So first up is the pants, and we're using Alexander's Chausses, which give us 6 skill points. You can quite happily swap these out though for Soleil Sect leggings if you're keeping the rings as I have them, or Drieg Sect if you're using Goalless Rings. Drieg will give you regen bonuses, Soleil will give you lifesteal bonuses. Alexander's pants are the better option in my opinion because they give us skill points for skills we're using, but they are not required. The amulet is going to be Vilgaze's Heart for +1 to Demolitionist skills, and there are many other amulets that do give +1 to Demolitionist skills. You can use any of those. Just be careful about your resistances. I've gone with this MI because it has a 100% drop rate, which made it a little bit easier to farm and made it target farmable. And also because this particular drop came with a resistance prefix that I needed and the of destruction suffix that I wanted. The belt is another one that can be substituted. Either Chains of Nightfire or Olzuan's Torment would work fine, though again, you will have the same issues of resistances to fix if you do use those. Don't use the crafted belt, as you can only have one suffix on those. Now, I don't normally mention components in the gear section here, but I did think it was important to mention 3 of them here. The Titan plating on the chest here increases our armor by 12%. The Ancient Armor plate on the pants increases our armor by another 8% and also increases armor absorption by 8%. And then the Scaled Hide down here at the bottom on the shoulders is another 20% increased armor absorption. You kind of need these for this build. As I said, it is kind of squishy. In terms of skill points, this is primarily a Demolitionist build. We are using Fire Strike as our main attack here, and so we have 22 out of 12, or as close to the hard cap as we can get for all of the nodes. We don't take Searing Strike or Searing Might because they require melee or a two-handed range, respectively. They don't work for us, so we don't take them. Flame Touched here for more damage, more offensive ability, and more defensive ability on Temper. We have Flashbang here for chance to confuse, some defensive ability shred on the targets, as well as chance for impaired aim and fumble, so they miss more often. Also down here in Vindictive Flame, this gives us a lot of regeneration, but it's mostly taken for that total speed. That 18% gets us to exactly 200% attack speed, which is the cap. 4 points in Olzuan's Wrath here. This is mostly taken for the chance to knock down targets and also the reduced targets damage for 3 seconds. However, we also have reduced targets damage over here on Aura of Censure. For resistance shredding, we have taken Thermite Mine and again Aura of Censure here. The main procs for the build are going to be Bursting Round, Chilling Round, and Storm Spread. We have extra skill points in these because of our set. Unfortunately, couldn't max them out because there's not enough skill points for this build. Ranged expertise here is more attack speed that we need to hit the cap, as well as some piercing damage, which we are partially converting from the Light's Oath ring. Word of Renewal here is a very nice heal, also gives us some other buffs. This one, or this particular node here, has some defensive ability, less damage taken from Chthonics and Eldritch. Vigor gives us a whole bunch of health and some crowd control resistances there. And then Steel Resolve is very, very strong here, giving us flat physical damage, which we're converting to physical and lightning, as well as extra damage to Chthonics and Eldritch. And if you need it, some Aether and Chaos resistance. Try not to rely on having that up all the time. If you're anything like me, you will forget to push it occasionally, and you don't want to suddenly be taking 250% extra damage from Chaos because you needed this to get your resistances capped. Also included is the Inquisitor's Seal. This is a whole bunch of extra damage absorption. This helps with the tanky issue that this character has, and is just generally good to have. And then I have 1 point in Deadly Aim here, basically to enable the set bonuses from Dagallon. In terms of devotions, I'm not going to go through every little node, but I will point out the important ones. Obviously, we are a ranged build, so we take the Hydra. This is going to give us a lot of nice bonuses, including +2 maximum move speed. This makes this build very fast on foot, giving us 141% maximum move speed instead of 135, which is the usual maximum run speed for most characters. Defensively, we're taking Giant's Blood for the heal, Tortoiseshell here for the massive shield when you get low, and then offensively, we have Fissure here on the Magi, we have Meteor Shower over here on Olzuan's Torch, and then we have Arcane Bomb, which is on the Widow. This is resistance shredding for lightning, and we have Eldritch Fire, which is resistance shredding for fire. All of the other nodes are generally going to be there for good bonuses that also give the colored constellation bonuses that we need to get the procs that we want. To show how the build performs, this is a run I did of Shattered Realm Shard 80, and I'm going to speed this up to double to get through it a bit faster. This is a 7-minute run where I clear all the bosses I run into, including Venjar twice, Fabius twice, Musiloki, and Father Kaiman. I think Shattered Realm 80 is a good benchmark to say that a build is okay. I'm going to let this run now. I'll see you at the end of it. Timestamps are below if you wish to skip forward. That was Shattered Realm 80, completed in just over 7 minutes with Benjar twice, Fabius, Musiloki, Father Kaiman, and Lagoth Ak. While I wouldn't recommend this build for going into hardcore Shattered Realm 80, it can do it as I've just shown, and on a previous run, I did face tank Kaisan even while sundered. I will say though, if you ever stop attacking, you will die quite quickly. Defenses aside, 7 minutes is a decent but not amazing time for a Shattered Realm run, and that's perfectly fine. Going into this build, I knew most people considered Dagallon's Purifier to be meme tier, but after having played it, I'm once again going to dispute this. I consider any build that can mostly face tank Shattered Realm 80 and comfortably clear it to be well out of meme build territory and firmly into the viable category. Dagallon's set isn't going to be winning competitions for speed clears or for going super deep into Shattered Realm, but for a fun farming build you don't need that, so to me it's a pretty good build. Also, it's pretty. Did I mention it's pretty? There's a lot of fire and lightning going off all over the place. I don't know that I would strongly recommend this build, as there are other better builds to do, but this does work, and if you want a Dagallon's Purifier of your own, links are below for how to do it. If you've got this far into the video, then I'd just like to thank you for watching, and ask that you like the video if you've enjoyed it or found it helpful. Stay tuned for more Grim Dawn 1.2 content, but that's going to be the end of this video, so thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.